14 to 1600 young people die to suicide each year. Most people are shocked. Consistently over the last 20 or 30 years, been the first, second or third most common cause of death. And the thing that unites us at Papyrus is we want to do something positive to help prevent this happening to families like yours.
Hi, my name's Shane, 36-year-old, and I'm putting this event together.
Originally, when we first spoke about doing it, it was going to be a bike ride, which were kind of a little bit better, and then it kind of dropped it on me that now we're going to do a run.
I wanted to do something which was a challenge. I mean, obviously, everybody does bike rides and one thing another. So I thought, what would be a challenge? And Shane came up with, let's run Bridlington to Blackpool, which is 140 miles.
Asked me did I want to carry on doing it. I said yeah, of course I do. We started, we'll finish.
But with Chris, I can honestly say that's all there was. It was just a great lad. Everybody said it, and he would have never harmed anyone. I don't know anybody who's would have had a bad thing to say about him, really.
We're obviously using what's happened to my brother Chris to hopefully help other people. This is a week run that we're doing, and Papyrus do this 24/7. When we tell people what we're doing, we get a really good reaction from people, calling us idiots most of the time. But yeah, I wanted to do something big. We've been training for a lot of years, all of us really. We've all done various bits of training, so we know what we kind of should be doing, how much we should be pushing ourselves. But running's really new, especially running these distances. And there's a lot of stuff that we just didn't know. And now we've got again Lisa on board, who's very experienced, in what she's done before in the past. So she's been telling us a lot about nutrition. Dehydration's a massive thing, and about how much you should be drinking. I didn't realise how much fluids and stuff you need to be actually taking in when you're doing these long distances. So her input's been fantastic. Every day I'm thinking about the training, what we need to do. I'm thinking about the sponsorship. Obviously on the run we've got hotels, food, we've got to get from A to B, things like that. So every day I'm on with this event.
He's got to somehow fit in this training, and he's got a job like everyone else has. And the same with Carl and Mark. They've got jobs. Carl's got a family. They all work. So I know that it's been difficult to try and get them all together as a group.
Last week we did the Leeds Half Marathon, which was a 30-mile run obviously. That was a Sunday. On the Monday I did a 20-mile bike ride, and on the Tuesday I did a 12-mile run. So quite a lot that week, trying to do some consecutive day training as well. So we've been training on a Monday, resting Tuesday, training Wednesday, resting Thursday, and then training Friday. And obviously on the run we're going to have 6 consecutive days of running, so we're trying to now put some back-to-back training in. This week I've done I did 6 miles run on Monday, I did 23 miles on bike on Tuesday, 6 miles on Thursday, on Wednesday, sorry, and then today we've done about 6 to 8 miles.
Lots of running. Lots and lots of mileage, and also lots of bike rides as well. So it's just loads of leg work. Yeah, and my legs are getting bigger, my bum's getting bigger, everything's getting bigger. It's supposed to be getting thinner, but it's not, it's getting bigger. Every time you shout, it's a bit dizzy.
So I've not got no specific diet, just trying to cut down on biscuits and chocolate and things like that, which has not been too easy. And red wine as well. I've had to cut a lot of red wine out, which is not good.
I've had a few injury scares leading up to this. Initially, I had a bad knee, which took a while to get over. I've had a bad hip as well, which I thought was going to really impair me. But I've managed to get past those, and I'm really sticking into training now. And I seem to be doing okay. But the 140 miles is going to be, you can't really prepare that much unless you try and do the 140 miles.
It's mentally preparing. There's a lot of times when you want to give in, but Mark won't let you.
I think that we've all got a good mindset. We've all got a good mindset, just to keep going, just to keep one foot in front of the other.
It's easy to remember that you've got more in the bank, and you can go a little bit longer than you think. I think that'll help.
It's not a runner, they're all MMA fighters. They're all big stocky men who fight each other, and they're not runners. But what can I say? I'm just the wife.
Every 5 miles we're meeting up to make sure that the runners are doing okay, that they've got enough food and that they're well hydrated, and basically that they're pretty injury free.
So how do they feel, lads? Good. A lot better than I thought. Yeah. Excellent. Same here.
Well, Shane just loved his brother to bits, and he just loved him to bits. Thought we were hilarious. I think the only time I really see Shane laugh his head off were when his brother were there, and like I say, he were a joker, and he liked to have a laugh, and he's very different to Shane. He was very different. Like Shane's more more reserved, whereas Chris would quite happily make a fool of himself no matter what. And I think Shane would tell you as well that when they were all going out together as a big group of lads going out doing the thing, they'd always say, "Is Chris coming?"
All my friends, every time there was something arranged, an outing or a trip or a weekend away, all my friends, first thing they would say is, "Chris coming?" Because it was just life and soul. He just made everyone laugh. That's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to be the joker, get a laugh out of people, and just make people smile. That's what he did. He did a great Lee Evans impression as well. The mum hated us going out together. We got arrested one night, both of us. We got locked up for that night. Wrongly, someone had robbed a body shop in Leeds, a store in Leeds, smashed the door in. We were walking past, and there were products and things strewn all over, and we picked a couple up as a joke and walked on, and the police thought that we'd broke into the shop, or arrested us for breaking into the shop. And we got locked up for the night and interviewed and stuff. Obviously it was, I were in shoes and jeans and a shirt, and Chris was dressed up. We went out, It was obvious that we weren't there to do what they thought we were, but we got locked up for the night. So it was an experience, something we could have a laugh about as well. I could hear him next cell to me talking as I'd talk to him as well.
Hello. Hey, morning.
York at the moment. Yeah, so next one's where's it running to next? Harrogate. Yeah, Harrogate next. Yeah. Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we're not doing too bad though. There's a couple of injuries here and there, but we ain't doing too bad.
Some of the cars are alright and they'll take a wide berth and miss you, but some of them don't and they'll just come straight at you, don't move. And there was a lorry coming down, might have been someone on the other side, but it just didn't give us any room at all, and I just had to dive out of the way and ended up in a bush.
Mark, we've got it! My dog's growling, he's just yawning.
This is what I've been putting on his leg.
Well, obviously now we know he was putting on a front, but he was always the funny man. He was always the one joking around. He was just always acting daft, really daft.
So he didn't emote, what he was feeling, obviously, and we just didn't know at all that he was in that mindset.
That's the cover up, isn't it, of somebody struggling? I think that they put on a show, I think, for people, and perhaps when you are struggling behind closed doors and you've put on that kind of, I'm a good laugh, I'm really upbeat, I think it's harder to open up to somebody and say, hang on a minute, I'm struggling, I'm and
it just takes, I guess, that one night to make that decision, I don't know if it was something he'd been struggling with for a year or 6 months or 3 months, or it was just something that he decided that night. But as signs, no one had any idea.
Everybody has ups and downs, it's a cliche to say, and I think loads of people will say to you, I've thought about it at some point, and the amount of people that's sort of come forward and said it to me since trying to put this word out, about what we're doing. People on Facebook, perfect strangers.
If my brother knew about Papyrus and the helpline, maybe that's something he'd have used, and it could have saved his life. As a family, we knew about after what happened to my brother. Maybe we could have got support from, they give support to families of people that have been affected by suicide, but we didn't, and that's the awareness side of this, is so people do know about Papyrus and do know that they're there to help, and people can phone them up.
Suicide is a social phenomenon. It's always been part of our human story. Any classical literature will have references to people ending their lives, and we use the word suicide. We don't avoid it by talking in sort of riddles or euphemisms, because that helps break down the stigma. The size of the phenomenon, if you will, is huge and significant. 1,600 young people recorded as having died to suicide. On average, that's the number of 14, 15, 1,600 young people up to the age of 35. But we know that as well as that number of deaths, there's a huge number of people who are self-harming, people who are making attempts on their life. What behaviours are out there that will eventually lead to harm or death? We need to know about those, and we need to help young people realise the dangers that they're in. Most young suicides, 3 out of 4, are male suicides. That's a really important and horrific statistic, and it says something about society and young men, but also it masks the fact that most attempts on a young life are made by women and young girls. So female suicidal behaviour and thinking is huge in our country, and that's something that can't be off our radar at Papyrus.
I think I mentioned it before, I've done a couple of charity events, and I've always donated to Papyrus, but I wanted to do one myself that had more meaning, something that I could control, something that really highlighted what happened to our Chris. All the media, all the website, the t-shirts we're wearing.
Shane has done a lot of this on his own with very little input from Papyrus, which is sometimes the best type of fundraiser because he's very clear on what he wants and how he wants to do it. Obviously there's 3 of them doing the race, and he has done fundraising for Papyrus before, so obviously his family and his support, his network are quite aware of us. It's very good for us in terms of through Facebook and Twitter. I will then promote his event for him, and recently I will repost his page on our page so everybody who sees what we're doing sees what Shane is doing as well. So Shane, who is running 140 miles for us, is one of our biggest supporters for this year. I think he's raised about £4,000 so far, which is fantastic, and he's obviously chosen quite a huge challenge. Not everybody wants to run for 6 days.
I'm using what's happened to Chris to hopefully help others. That's the goal. Generate some money, some awareness, so Papyrus can carry on doing what they're doing. The money will help them run their helpline that they've got going, and that's going to be a positive thing on the back of something obviously really negative.
You know what we're going to do? I'm going to push her out of the way and give you a hug. I'm going to push you out of the way and give you a hug. Hello. Alright, I'll save some room for later.
I'm very great. Thank you, Carl. You're so kind.
It's warm in here, isn't it?
Did you get any fuzz on this as well?
On Thursday?
On
Thursday, yeah. Oh, Thursday was awful. Absolutely awful. It was obviously the hilliest part, and nearly got cleaned out twice, didn't we?
Yeah. The roads, the conditions that we were having to run in, it were untrue. They were really narrow, and you couldn't switch off. So when you get tired, and you just want to shut off and just put your head down and just plug away, you couldn't do it because you just couldn't take your mind off at road. I mean, there were a couple of occasions we're running up an hill, and at the side of the hill obviously is a cliff, and all that's between the road and the cliff is a metal barrier, and we were sideways on the barrier. We'd had to actually physically go from a run position just to stand sideways, or it would over cliff. It were awful, and I think it was just the awareness and mental fatigue, as well as doing lots of hills on sore limbs. It was so hard. It was so hard. It got to last stage of it, and it was like, just let today be over.
Mentally, it's just saving long.
It's all that lives that works.
Good. I feel so well. I feel as if I could eat my way to the...
There's always room for more.
That's good, that's good spirit.
We all have good spirit.
It is something that's just not stopped really.
No.
We've been here to have a good laugh, haven't we? I think it just raises a bit of morale and spirits.
If you've been doing 15 miles and then you stop and have some food and a drink, and you're just suppressed and miserable, and you'll be sat eating, drinking and thinking you have to run, another 20 miles.
out of the 10 miles, you just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't be able to do it. But we get there and we joke and we laugh, and it just helps to think, right, let's get going.
Pull it down, Rob, pull it down.
I'm not coming near you. Yes. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
Alright.
What was that chat line? Come back to front, dickhead.
This is the road for today. Preston, water station around here, and then Blackpool.
I don't think it's going to be okay, but it doesn't make any difference. I'm going to get it done anyway, no matter what. Even if it's a hand sand there, you know what I mean? I'll get there.
So is this. It's knackered.
Yeah, we got a phone call. I think it was about 1:30. It was a guy who lived next door to Chris Carl, who was one of our friends, and he says, "Can you come round? There's some guys outside your Chris's house." Of course, the first thing I thought is fighting or he's in trouble, or. And I asked him what's going on, and he said, "I think you just better come down." And then I think by the tone of the voice, I knew there wasn't something right.
And Shane got a call from somebody saying, "Come down to your brothers now." And Shane were in a panic, and I said, don't go on your own. I said, "I'll come with you." So we just got dressed really quickly. We just chucked our clothes on and shot out the door. I said, what's happened? He said, "I don't know. We were walking down to his house, which is only a couple of streets down, so obviously, we didn't have far to go." But so what's happened? Do you know what's happening? He just said, "All I know is some lads are there. Some lads are outside his house."
Some guys are saying that your Chris has committed suicide, and then it's all very blurry after that. I remember going down to the house. I think the ambulance was there. There were a few of his friends were there. He'd not turned up for work a couple of nights, and obviously they were concerned. And the guys.
And we just got there, and there were all these lads outside his house, like crying and screaming. And there were one guy there who was his neighbour, who were just trying to sort of calm the situation down, and it was him who told Shane, and yeah, just he didn't lose it. Like, I thought, I'm gonna really lose it here, and this guy said to me, you can't, Vicky just said you can't lose it for him.
I don't know whether they broke into the house or the door was open, but anyway, they obviously found him, called ambulances, etc.
Yeah, so that's how we found out, and I don't know whether Shane were in shock or not, but he just somehow just kept it. He didn't lash out, he didn't sob, he didn't scream.
And one of the things I do remember is Vicky was with me as well, and she kind of collapsed and you know, started crying and everything. And I said to her, "Don't. I need you." And she and then she was just there for me all the time.
In the hard points, the only thing that got me through really was just imagining seeing the kids on that finishing line on Saturday, and knowing that we'd set out to accomplish this for Shane and Chris, that I wasn't going to let them down.
Well done!
we've been everyone that's been involved, Carl, Mark, Lisa, my wife, Rachel, that's worked on this. We're just so overwhelmed by the support that we've had, and the amount of people that have donated for starters, the amount of money that people have give up for us. I really didn't expect it, and what we've got on tonight, the raffle, the race night. People have been so generous and so supportive. There's too many people to thank. There's just everyone's been fantastic. It's been a really nice feeling.
It made the difference. You know what I mean? When you're feeling down, especially on third and fourth day. You know what I mean? When I start thinking, everything was starting to ache. You know what I mean? And it was the time starting to get hard. You know what I mean? Looking at on the Facebook statuses. You know what I mean? Having a look how many hits we've had. You know what I mean? Etc. Etc. It was fantastic. You know what I mean? And brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I can't thank everybody enough. You know what I mean? From the bottom of my heart, I really mean. You know what I mean? And, I'm not an emotional person, and I feel emotional. I really, especially afterwards, I felt it was good, really, really good.
There's a bond there, I think, now between me, Shane, Mark, and Lisa that nobody else will ever understand.
Confirmation of race 4, it's horse number 2. Your ticket to win at 5